Oh boy, this one's a doozy of a subject. I need another minute for this one. The computer war Menace is one of my go-to examples of how The Simpsons had changed. And it's not because it's that horrible or anything, it actually has some pretty good satire about the days of the early internet, as well as how new media is produced and consumed. And the prisoner parody, while extremely indulgent, still has a lot of good jokes. No, the fact that the episode is okay is one of the reasons why I think it's a good example of how the show evolved. Because the change in The Simpsons isn't only about LOL the writing is bad, it's stuff like characterization, tone, and plot structure. Homer, for example, is written like this weird, naive, childlike character, someone you wonder how he could possibly still be alive. He's always been written a little like this, obviously, but it starts driving the plot. In past episodes, he often gets into situations where he's in way over his head, like when going to space or preventing a meltdown or trying to be cool and relevant. In this episode, he's dragging a computer behind his car and then deciding that just making up the news is a good idea. The stupid isn't what makes the plot fun anymore, it now drives the plot. Then, when we've run out of things to do with the story, we'll just change gears completely and do a straight-up prisoner parody. It starts to feel like the writers didn't have enough confidence that their main story is interesting, that doing a showdown with Mr. Burns or the mayor or someone isn't an interesting enough climax to the existing story. That's why you start seeing exaggerated jokes throughout it, like Bart's extremely dark psychoanalysis and Mr. Burns basically committing treason. It just feels weird when a plot point about selling plutonium to terrorists is just a minor blip on the radar, and this mysterious village is where we need to go. And like I said earlier, it's not like these prisoner jokes are bad. That's the thing about it. The multiple gassings and the postmodernism and the weird imagery are hilarious. If you came in here and told me that you love this episode and love where the series went, I probably wouldn't argue with you. I don't really care for the more silly and surreal stories, but fine. Different strokes for different folks, yada yada yada. It's hard to watch the computer war Menace and not think about how it's basically a different show now, for better or for worse.